Hello and thanks for staying on LN 24/7. This is Politics Now. My name is Morno Balagbogo. So quite a number of bills has scaled up at the National Assembly, both the House of Reps and also the upper chambers, the Senate. And today on the show, we will spend a considerable number of time to focus on some of the constitutional amendments efforts at the National Assembly, focus on governance and electoral reforms. Let's give you a rundown of our talking points. We'll look at the withdrawal of immunity bill for elected officials, X-raying bill to return Nigeria to parliamentary system of governance, and examining bill to hold general elections in one day. Our guest today on the show is no stranger to this platform, Austin Osage, political analyst. Thank you so much for being with us on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, since the last time you were here, quite a lot has happened in the country. But Austin is a UN ambassador and also a member of the All Progressive Congress. And in these times that we're in Nigeria, we definitely need to hear from somebody, who is a member of the All Progressive Congress, like we did on Wednesday. So let's tell you that a total number of constitutional amendment bills that have successfully passed second reading now stands at 113. There's been calls and talks for constitutional reform, and of course, the National Assembly is on board with their duty to do that. So, of course, we're packing a few of the bills. There are so many, like I said, 113. We're just focusing on some on governance and electoral reforms. Now, for these bills to become law, it still needs to go through a number of processes. So let's remind you just the process line. I think right now the stage is at number 5. So there's what is called the origination of the bill. Of course, before a bill is passed, it has to be first presented to the National Assembly. And after that, we move to the second stage, where there is an initial review of the bill, where the head of chamber, either Speaker or Senate President, forwards it to a relevant committee. From there, gazetting of the bill. After initial review, the committee then sends the bill for gazetting. Then the first reading, there is no much debate at this stage at the Senate or at the House of Representatives. It's more of like legislators being introduced to the bill. Then a second stage, which is where these 113 bills are at the moment. This is where it is debated on the floor. We'll share sound bites of what happened on Thursday. And of course, for a bill to scale through second reading, it must be moved by a motion. And of course, the next stage is the committee assigned to deliberate on bill and to examine it critically. And from there, after the committee has concluded its work, it will report back to the whole House, Senate in a plenary with or without amendments. And the chairperson of the committee is expected to veer for a motion to report on the progress. And then the third reading happens after the bill has passed. The third reading, no amendment can be made. And after a bill has scaled, it moves to the next level, where it becomes a clean printed copy incorporating all amendments, and that will be produced and signed by the clerk and endorsed by the Speaker or Senate President. From there, we move to concurrent stage, when a bill is sent to either chamber of the concurrence, which are, of course, there are 3. The receiving chamber that may agree with the provisions of the bill. The receiving chamber may not agree with the bill at all and therefore reject it. And then the chamber may not agree to some parts of the bill and therefore make amendments. And then, of course, the final stage, where the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, comes in, and once there is a concurrence of the bill in both chambers, the National Assembly will enroll the bill for the President's signature, and the bill does not become law until the President signs it or vetoes it. So thanks to lawpadi.com for that, brief version of the process of what it is like for a bill to pull through. So the House of Representatives rescinded its decision on second reading of a bill for an act to move the immunity conferred on the Vice President and state governors and their deputies. Now, why is that? The bill is said to be introduced to curb corruption, eradicate impunity, and enhance accountability in public office. However, the House rescinded They're saying the rescission is based on the need to subject to certain provisions of the bill. And of course, quite a number of bills scaled up the House, including the one to remove the immunity. But let's have a listen to some sound bites, and there we go straight to the conversation.
To qualify the immunity conferred on the president, remove the immunity conferred on the
Ambassador Austin, many thanks for being with us again. So it's been quite a busy, the past 1 month, so to speak, has been very busy in the National Assembly. Now, away from the whole Natasha issue, let's focus on what really matters to Nigerians. Some of these bills, could actually be quite a game changer for Nigerians. So what are your thoughts? I know there is quite a whole lot that I did not put out regarding to why the House decided to rescind their decision on making a U-turn kind of in terms of the bill to, remove immunity from some elected personnel. So I know you've been following this closely, so can you help us break it down?
Well, for a couple of number of days, that to my own opinion might not get through for instance, the bill to remove immunity from vice president, the governor, and the deputy governor. Of what? Sorry. Of what purpose will the initiator of the bill want to achieve? Sorry. Many of those bills, as I said, would likely not get through beyond second reading. Because if you look at it critically, I watched the proceeding and I was like, what did they tend to? They say no, because even when they even have immunity, that is not the problems. I will continue telling people. That is not our problem. There are many of them working freely now, even when they have left power. Because I'm sure, assuming they died there, we will have said, okay, it ended there. Yes, you can commit a crime when you are serving as a governor, a vice president, a president, a deputy governor. But when you leave power, what happened? I don't want to mention them here. We have a lot of governors, both in opposition and in ruling party today, former governors, that when they were there, they were terror. Today, they are not there. And they are working freely. There's nothing stopped in our constitution that when they go, if you know and you are sure I commit a crime when serving as a governor, you can, after waiting for him, we have, that is why you see, I continue telling you that you can't compare Nigeria with some other country. Any sport in Nigeria want to make comparison to country. We have seen American cases that lasted for 30, 40 years. They keep record. And that is the kind of country I'm looking at. We should leave our children, or we should leave. We are young people now. Let's assume that those that before us have made that mistake. These are because there's nothing guaranteed that if you commit a crime now, that crime should not catch up with you later. Highest, the immunity is for 8 years. It can still catch up with you.
Now, there is this conversation about state governors, at the level of the National Assembly, since the state is independent, that should not, cut across the state governments. And that was why, one of the reasons the bill is supposed to be reviewed. So how do you look at it from that angle?
That's what I'm saying, that if you allow such bill to be passed, automatically there are a lot of, we are just in a political environment whereby people look for every loopholes probably to, even without with immunity, there are a lot of governors that they don't even know what they are doing. I'm sure there are many governors in Nigeria today. Some people don't even know their name. Many Nigerians don't even know their name. Even their state people, I'm sure that some of their states, they are not living in that state, don't even know their name. Meaning that some of them are not even doing anything. So imagine you now expose them to litigation, and they might just be there, ended up all their 4-8 years in court. So to me, such bill, and again, the art of the whole bill, the bill I'm seeing that is very important to me should be that bill that said all the elections should be conducted one day. Because if your election is
We'll come
conducted
to
well,
that. We'll come into that.
So
Yeah.
now what I'm trying to say on this particular one, this particular bill, I don't think it should be a distraction, which I believe at the committee level, you know, or even if they passed it, the president might not assent to it because it's at the prerogative of the president probably to assent to the one that probably needs a critical.
Talking about because the big issue here now is cutting the cost of governance. The Oronsaye report, which the president said it was going to be adopted, we've not gotten any feedback on that. So for Nigerians, you know, this bill could be a game changer because, I mean, it's still in the process. So it's neither out, it's neither in. But I mean, what is the hope of Nigerians, at least from the president, the executive arm of government, in its bid to fight corruption? Yes, EFCC is doing a lot, but is it enough? Is the government cutting costs enough? At the National Assembly level, where you would expect, you know, this to move past, you know, at first when it was being brought up, I mean, people were starting to think, okay, this National Assembly is probably not rubber stamp as we thought. But what does this say about I mean, politics in general, away from the executive? Because as media, we can be so harsh, you know, on the executive arm. But let's come down to this level. What does this say?
You know, that has been a conversation before now, and I continue telling to my, because most time, you know, when you have your own view of public and people say, okay, probably that, yes, my view. Oronsaye report is about 15 years ago. 15 years ago.
So that means it's not valid.
No, not completely all. There are a lot of things that to me it is not valid there. So why are we there now? Why is the president there now? Assuming that Oronsaye report was adopted by Jonathan in 2014, then we can say, okay, probably as time goes on, each succession government will come and probably try to see what they can add, what they can remove. Yes. As at then, you can look at the rate of unemployment. The rate of unemployment then was when things should be less than 10%. Today is over how many percent? There are a lot of people roaming about now. So the challenge we have been saying is that it's not by reducing, probably margin these things. It's about looking outside the box to see how you can create more employment. Let me give you an example of what I'm saying. I look at Egypt, that is less population than Nigeria. Their policemen they have there is almost times 3 of what we have in Nigeria.
But you know, that's just a side of the problem.
No, I'm just saying we should look at those things. So what probably the government of the day now should be looking at? Yes, probably look at those part of those recommendations. Which one suits the time we now? Because America 15 years ago, UK 15 years ago are not the same thing. I got admission into UK University in 2003. It was how many £1,000? Today, what is the £1 to Nigerian pound? What is the ratio now? So these are things that over time, there are events that I overtake some resolution now that we can't even just be discussing now as in Nigeria. Now, what is it tenable now? What is practicable now? That should be our own discussion now. Because when you're looking at, okay, probably assuming Oronsaye report, as at the time the committee sit to pass, to submit that resolution to the president, the then president Jonathan. Jonathan left power now about.
But you seem to be focusing on the past administration. President Tinubu is president now. The question is, what is he doing?
I'm not focusing. I said we are talking about Oronsaye report.
Yeah.
I was discussing about merger, probably merge people that are doing similar police work, putting them all that together. People, the agency that are doing similar job, put them under one minister or one permanent secretary or one DG, so that they won't be, probably the rest become a direct. I'm not against that. What I mean is that there are a lot of those, part of those resolutions then that is obsolete now. It's not what is the current challenges now. As at 10 years ago, what was the population of Nigeria? As at today, what is the population? As at 10 years ago, what was government catering for? I just want to be realistic of what is happening. So,
in essence, we should retain status quo. Is that your...
Not really, that's what I'm saying now. Not really retain this. I said part of the resolution, the government of the day now should look at, okay, which one can we work on? And probably bring, okay, let me give you an example now. They said rep reject bill to make the 37 local government LCDA a local government. Is that what we're supposed to be discussing in Nigeria? That is taking time. Rep is discussing how to create state. Is that Nigerian problem? These are part of the bill we are saying is going that might not even see the light of the day. That is not the edict. Plan. One rep member will just bring a bill to. I want my local government to have a state. Is that what we are discussing now? So that's what I'm saying. That by the time we dwell more on that kind of conversation, then we have a problem. By the time we dwell more on that kind of discussion, then we have a problem.
But this issue of immunity, how important is it? Do you feel that the House is downplaying on this particular issue?
To me, it won't go anywhere.
It's not about it won't go anywhere. We're looking at a situation whereby it should go.
That's what I'm saying now.
What it can do for us as a nation.
If you look at the member that brought when they were explaining, except probably maybe at the committee level, probably maybe they still have other explanation to convince. But to me, I'm not convinced that because the governor does not have immunity. I said even with their immunity, a lot of them are not doing anything. What I think the bill that should be going now should be a bill that probably talking about job creation, a bill that is talking about the army of youth that we're having now. How do we engage them? The brains we're having now. That's what my own opinion. My opinion is not this bill that somebody is discussing about how deputy governor will not have immunity. Even the deputy governor that have immunity, how many people know the name of deputy governor in Nigeria? What are they doing?
No, but you can't say that because for people, because in the fight against corruption, because look at what EFCC is doing at the moment. Practically everybody that they are after are people, probably who were in office, let's say 10 years ago. So the backlog, allegedly, because we can't really specifically state for a fact that maybe this past governor stole money or whatever. But do you think at least, let's not see whether if it is worth our time, but rather the possibility that if that bill, is passed, it will help in fighting corruption. That's what I want you to speak on.
I think we are saying the same thing.
Because you're saying, no, I mean, this is an effort in futility. It may not really produce anything.
Can you tell me Yabelu left power when?
2023.
2023. I mean, can you tell me today how far his case has gone? Even after he left power. Immediately left office, they arrested him. I get him. They are still in court now. The last court he went there and shaking people.
But for the House of Representatives, that is the representative. I understand what you're saying. But our expectation from this 10th National Assembly, with specific reference to the House of Reps, I mean, what's the word to use to describe this decision?
On this particular
yes.
topic? It's nothing to me. I'll just give you an example now that somebody.
Are you saying that because you're a member of the APC?
Not really APC.
Are you sure?
No, most time I'm not under payroll of APC.
I understand. You are very logical.
I'm not just a payroll. I'm not on their payroll. Yes, as a citizen, I have the right to have probably a political party. I'm not speaking for them. And most time in my own, when I had the opportunity to speak, I don't speak for party. Even if you are my party and I believe you are not doing the right thing, I will speak up. So I'm not discussing for APC. I'm saying even if it's PDP that is in power or it's Labour that is in power, what should be our major concern? I'm just giving an example of this 10th Assembly, like kind of bill they are discussing. LCDA in Lagos should be converted.
But from what you're saying, it's like you don't see the need to cut the cost of governance. Do you see what Trump is doing with America?
I just told you now,
do you see the need for us to cut the cost of governance?
There are huge need to cut the cost. That's what I'm saying. That is what we should be discussing. Come up with a bill. Come up with a suggestion that can be. Okay, let me give an example now. Today, we have gotten evidence, or let me put it, before now, that they tell the agency return money. Agency refused to employ people. We have seen nomadic, I think, is it nomadic education, one of these agencies. If there was a school, a nomadic school, they have about less than 100 people there. And what they are spending They were listed, it was early this year or last year that the rep summoned the people managing the agency and said, come, are you people spending money? How many of you are here? How much are you making? Let's assume they're making like 4 million and they're spending over 20 million. Is that what we should be? So what I'm trying to say is this. There are huge need. The discussion they should be coming up with now. It's not a discussion of you want to convert your local government to a state. You want to convert this. You want this to. I just told you a part of all those bills. There are some that are sensible. But to me, there are some that are not. Because if you are telling me today now, there are many ways a state governor can cut costs. Are you getting me now? Immunity is not one of them, of cutting costs. Are you getting me now? Immunity is not, you are not cutting costs by depriving somebody of having immunity. That's what I'm saying, that our discussion should be centered on how do we enhance this present condition.
But do you feel that having immunity can encourage corruption?
Okay, is the minister have immunity? Is minister not corrupt? Is DG of a off? Is the DG of agency, chairman and all that? And most of them not corrupt. That's what I'm saying, that many of them that are not even, they are senator, House of Rep, and some of them are not corrupt. Some of them are corrupt. So did they have immunity?
You've been quite clear on your thoughts. Now let's move to the next bill because of time. Now there is an act to alter the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to provide for the office of the Prime Minister as the head of government and office of the President as head of state, to provide framework for the mode of election to the said offices. Of course, this has also passed a second reading at the House of Representatives. I think let's just have a look at the sound bites of how that played out on Thursday.
To qualify the immunity conferred on the President, remove the immunity conferred on the Vice President, the governors and their deputies, in order to curb corruption, eradicate impunity, and enhance accountability. And the other is a bill to review the penalties for certain capital offenses in alignment with relevant international best practices. We're aware that the provisions of the bills require that the House will take a second look at it, and cognizant of the need to rescind these bills, will resolve that these bills be rescinded by this House.
And I thank you for your understanding. The sponsors of the bill will keep it until we debate later on in a more thorough, comprehensive form. Thank you.
So away from that bill, like I said, 113 bills, but we'll just want to focus on the key one. Like you said, some bills make sense, some bills don't make sense. So does this one make sense for you?
It doesn't make any sense for this.
But there are those who are saying this could solve the problems of the nation.
Which problem is it solving? Even the one we have, we have a challenge here. Let me give an example. When I saw them bringing this bill, I was just laughing. And I'm sure
that's at the earlier stage.
I'm sure many Nigerians will just be laughing.
No, but I've spoken with some people who seem to love this idea. I even think your friend Showore likes this parliamentary system of government.
I don't think he's going to like it. But if you like it, that's his own opinion. But to me, I don't like it. Why I don't like it is, see, as I just said now, Nigeria have not got to some level of how some people are thinking we are now.
You don't trust the personality, the people of Nigeria, so to speak.
For now, we have not gotten to. We don't even have accurate data. You get my point? We don't even have accurate data of how many citizens we have here. No, I'm sure there are many states today. They don't even know how many people are in their state. There are many universities in Nigeria today. We don't even know how many people are in universities. They will just give you figures that are not correct. And to round it up, I don't think Nigeria have a single parameter to measure growth. Rather that assumptions and coming up with.
So how does that play a role in demeriting this
that's what I'm telling you now, that
governance?
Until we go to a particular level. Now, if you are bringing...
What level? What's that level? What's that ideological level?
That's what I'm supposed to say. Prime Minister. We are in... I'm sure you are aware of this kind of a country, homogeneous, how we are. The Prime Minister will come from where? The President will come from, the head of state will come from where? Head of state, a military head of state, or a civilian head of state.
So are you trying to put
Head of state.
ethnicity?
No.
Is that what this is all about? This is why you feel it can work?
He's one of the biggest. Even just now, because we have two, Nigeria is divided into two, north and south. In north, they have 3 zones. In south, we have 3 zones. That alone is even a problem. That you can see that Buhari is leaving power after 8 years. If somebody is coming from the north again say he wants to be in power, you will be surprised that if this president will spend 8 years, as he will be leaving, a strong candidate will come from the south again.
But don't you think a parliamentary system of governance gives room for people who are capable to actually be in power rather than having to continue to resort to ethnic divisions?
That is your own side. Are you going to tell somebody from another state to do the person that will represent them? If you have a PhD, you want to represent your people based on...
No, but in parliamentary system of governance, everybody is represented in the system.
That's what I'm saying that.
And it's easy to checkmate the system like what we see in the UK.
No.
So how do you think that won't work in a Nigerian context?
That's what I'm saying, that in UK are English country. They don't have Ibera, they don't have Yoruba, they don't have anybody. They speak English. It's a British parliament. Even if you are a citizen of another country that you come there, you speak English there. You are not, and even if you are there, you are not affiliate, you don't have any affiliation back to your country. You are not going to be speaking because of the bias of your country. You can see what Kevin Badnock is doing, trying to demarket Nigeria. That is to tell you how conservative they are. Probably when you stay, you become a citizen because you pay allegiance to them fully. The former Sunak, an Indian man, you see, was not bringing any in India, unlike Nigeria here. And except we don't want to tell ourselves the reality. The reality on ground is that everybody that's in power today, there's these feelings for his people. There's no way. I was watching one clip last election when former Vice President Atiku went to Kaduna. He told his people there that North does not need anybody to become a president of Nigeria. That the Northerner can vote for Northerner, and he's a Northerner president. So he's telling his people that I'm a Northern candidate. So will you tell him that if he be, or if you look on today, many people he has been accused many that he's just bringing his people in. When Buhari was there, Buhari virtually bring almost all his people. I'm sure there is a particular tribe that even tell them that they didn't even vote for him, so they should not even expect anything from him. That is Nigeria in reality.
But away from what the people want, which is based on what you have just said now, do you see this National Assembly, the current House of Reps that we have, do you see them pulling through this? Because first reading, yes.
That which him pulling through. I just told this, I will come back here.
Okay.
You know, most time when I come here, we discuss, just like I told you last time, when we were discussing about football and all that, politics is not being played. Just most time, people will see emotions, bring emotion. Politics is politics. And probably, I told you last time that the political problem in Rivers State, you need a political solution. So, and I'm sure we have all seen what is playing out, and even what is going to play. Now look at those people that are shouting up and down. I'm sure by now their voice is nowhere, and everybody has moved on. That is the kind of country we are. So it's easy for his people to sell a narrative within 1 or 2 weeks. So until we are serious as a country to say, okay, we need to do this, we'll do it. And that's why you see, you can see in the parliament today you are talking about, they are fighting almost every day. This one will say something that...
It's more of like a content hub.
I'm just telling you that.
We don't need
So is he kind of person? That's in their anger sometimes. Some of them say what they are not to say. So to tell you the mindset they went there. Are you getting me? So that's I'm telling you that. And what did Nigeria want? Nigeria just want a good environment. An average youth in Nigeria, okay, you can imagine today how Nigeria are creating content and how the content is going, how people are buying it. Because many Nigerians today, I think their phone is their best friend. They have even forget about government. Most time when they see that, you just want to laugh. That's why you see that there are many in this palace that if you want to enjoy Nigeria, just have data. You just be laughing because that is what is happening now. So, and that is the reality on ground. So you can come up with, I just told you now, how can somebody just stand up and say you want to convert LCDA that is still governor created and you want to convert it to a national local government, whereby they should be drawing money directly to them so that they have got now tomorrow now another president will come, his own people too. He makes sure that, and that is how this country is being run by now. Except they are going to abolish that. That's what I see. Part of them are talking about it. Part of somebody's, there's a bill now. They say, okay, they should change the entire constitution so that we should discuss about people constitution. Because as at 1960, 61, 62, 63, when that constitution was put together, the population was not there. This ethnic problem we're having now is not there. The religious problem we're having now is not there, and all that. So, and that constitution is what we are still just trying to amend according to the amended 1999, which 1999, 26 years ago. You are bringing it with a child that was not born then. So you want to, you think you can turn it out his or our own psyche, probably to be thinking of a child that was not born when you had an apple. To me, the concept is even obsolete. So what we should be discussing now is that a constitutional amendment. But look at it then too. Those that brought those constitution then too, that start to come up with that constitution, they do. Many of them are very good that they are there. They are not. They don't have the problem we have. So my fear too that if there's going to be a constitutional review committee or whatever, with this kind of mindset we have now, I don't see the constitution will be.
They won't be able to pull through it.
Yes, because that's why you see that Nigerians too have looked at it and have discovered that the only thing they can be doing is to just be amending probably the one that they know that.
So I wanted to talk to you about the bill to have specific seats for women in the National Assembly.
Those are the seats. Those are the bill we should be discussing. Those are the bill we'll be discussing.
So there are some people, to Senator, what's his name again, the Ebonyi senator, that had clash with Dr. Obi Ezekwesili. There were some words that he used, which a lot of people are still trying to unpack, where he said, it's because of your kind of character that women cannot have seats in the National Assembly. Just to, look at what he said, and then this same assembly is looking forward to a situation where they could have specific seats for women in National Assembly. How is that going to work, considering the fact that it is people who actually elect people in the office?
I personally totally condemn, there is their own problem, but I condemn that statement. And I'm sure if you're sure, I don't know, probably I've not watched some of his clip, he might have. If it was put up that question, I'm sure it will have apologized.
No, it was the back and forth.
Yes.
It takes two to have an argument.
I'm not saying with the woman. There's something that the woman told him that was wrong.
Yes.
Telling somebody, shut up your mouth. Shut up, I'm telling you, it's not your child and all that. That one is between them. But that statement you just quoted now, saying that it's not him, it's not the National Assembly that determines who comes to National Assembly. Let's get clear. It's the people. So the campaign goes back to people. It's not National Assembly, the people that are sitting
so
there. So
this bill now for you, is a no-go for you?
No, which no-go? I said this is the kind of bill we should be discussing.
So how will it work?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That is not going back to our people to see women. I'm an activist. Let me put it that way. I'm still an activist. I'm a comrade. I believe this kind of bill should be the bill we should be discussing, because I believe I'm not fighting for women, so that people should not get me misquoted. What I'm trying to say,
you are married to a woman, so shouldn't you fight for?
No. What I mean is I have daughters, which I'm proud of them, which I want them one day to stand.
To be even president.
Yes, I want them to stand. By the special grace of God, I will train them to stand for themselves, to stand to speak for people, to hold, to be accountable for whatever they do, to see themselves like men. So I don't believe that women should be relegated to no. I see that, and most time I do fight for cause for women too, not just for random women, but for women that I believe these people are doing it not for their own gain, but for the gain of other fellow women. I do stand for them, and I've been able to have partaken in many discussions like this for women right and all that, not an abuse right, because there are women that abuse men too and all that, so I don't do that too. But for women that I believe that I have some friends that women that genuinely they are comrades, genuinely they are not speaking for themselves. They are not speaking probably just to get attention. They are speaking for those that are voiceless. Those kind of things I support. So I want to see that we should have back to state. whereby the state governor or the party or the national party should say, okay, we are putting it as part of our party resolution that 30% of appointments of elected offices should go to our women. But when by that is not being spelled out in the party, this anybody can do what they like.
But that's for the party to constitute
That's what I'm saying.
in their legal
That's what I'm saying
binding
now, that
documents.
going forward, about of God president being appointing them. No. Let it be part of democratically part of the law to say, okay, 30% of elective positions go to women, 40% go to them. So that you know that whether you like it or not, when you are forming your House of Rep, like my state, we have 9 House of Rep, we have 16. Okay, that part of that 9, you know that 3 House of Rep will come to female, 6 will go to men. Out of that 3 senator, 1 will go to women, 2 go to men. So you know, if you become part of our norms, automatically you see almost all of them will be there. Many women would not be happy to come forward. But it's just about, you know, that even if I come to obtain form, you already screen me out by already having your own candidate. But because he was not spelled out, you can see that they are spelled that, okay, so year is one that can come. Probably within this year rate, and you can come to assembly, you can come to rep. The same thing should go to local government. Okay, that was why, you know, sometimes no matter how bad someone is, there's still some good part of it. When Yaya Bello, I had a press conference for that. When he appointed, he did the local government election, and all the deputy chairman of all the local government, 21 local government in Kogi State, they are all women. I was happy. This is a kind of, you know, imagine almost all the states replicate that all the vice chairmen of your local government and that election should be women. Out of the 10 councillors, let's say like 3 or 4 are women. You see more of them want to come, and most time they do better. Most time women do better in our environment. Most time women do better.
So this is a welcome development for you.
It's a very welcome development.
So let's go to the one I'm sure you're very excited to talk about, which is the bill for INEC to hold general elections on same day. And of course, that also scaled second reading. The bill aims to amend the Electoral Act of 2022 to curb rising election costs, shorten campaign periods, and allow elected office holders to serve as ad hoc delegates in party congresses. And of course, Senator Saliu Mustafa will play the soundbite, highlighted the unsustainable cost of elections, which has ballooned from 1.5 billion in 1999 to 350 billion as at today. Of course, if you factor in inflation, that says a lot. So he underscored that staggered elections are expensive, inefficient, and contribute to voter fatigue. While the proposal received strong backing from several senators, some lawmakers expressed concerns over the capacity of INEC to handle nationwide elections in just a single day. We'll come to you, Ambassador. But let's have a listen to Senator Saliu and, of course, Adam Soshomole from Edo North, I guess. We'll be right back.
The inadequacies of the extant Electoral Act 2022 have also resulted in the exclusion of elected office holders, which include the President, Vice President, members of the National Assembly, governors and their deputies, members of the State House of Assembly, chairmen of local government, councillors, members of the National Working Committee of Political Parties, among others, from participating in the convention, congress, or meeting of their political parties they belong to.
So this is something that is pretty very interesting because, I mean, there is a whole lot, apart from the cost effectiveness. People feel like, I mean, it's that on the political stakeholders now, it would be very difficult to have a situation whereby, I mean, they could be, what would I use now, like strategically organized in such a way that, I mean, they could cause mayhem. So this may not really favor those on the political side who seem to want to perpetuate some form of illegality but the concern right now, like Senator Shomole, is the capacity of INEC. So how do you approach this?
That is my powerful senator. I think the senator will be able to think very well and look back and said, even if you do it that same day, let's try it. It will work. You have just said it. for those that have probably interior motive, probably to do something. Because it doesn't cost us anything.
After all, it's the same people
It's a game
voting
it's
across.
a game changer. Because if you are voting the president, you are voting the rep, the senator, the governor, the assembly. It's only 5 votes.
The local government, if we want to add
If
that.
possible, let's even say local government is not there for now. It's possible. So that one, it will be difficult for you to know that. You can't tell me, say, okay, my president will now win. The fear is that the president will win, the governor might likely win. Because if you take the statistics of the voting we have been doing since, you discover that there are bad wagon effects on most elections. People vote along one
Which
side.
lies within the knowledge of the
yes,
voter now,
yes,
not
because
to
of-
be able
yes,
to
yes, not able to
differentiate the
differentiate.
candidates.
So meaning that it's like, and you know, politicians in Nigeria, they are just kind of wayward people. Some of them, not all of them.
It just brings to mind the Peter Obi effect in 2023 election, because some people just voted LP down the ballot all through without even caring for the personality of who. So is this concerning for you too?
No, it's not really concerning. It's good to me, whichever way they want to vote. Because it will make sure that he will even spend campaign less. And okay, imagine the statistics you just said now. 1.5 billion 26 years ago. And that 26 years ago, how many elections we have conducted? That 99, 2003, 2007, 2011, 2015, 2019, 2023.
Yeah.
We have just conducted 7 elections, not that maybe, and 7 elections have gone from 1.5 billion to 300 something billion. You can see that it's too much. Because sometimes
the by-elections are also there too.
No, we have seen that election that probably that day, even the governorship election, we have seen them extending to another 1 week. That 1 week, logistics and some other things goes. But if that election is INEC to tell us, yes, we don't have the capacity to conduct the election, not a politician telling us. Because a politician will always look at things that...
So you're faulting your senator now?
No, you are not getting me. I said, maybe the senator at the committee stage and all that, he's a powerful senator, he's very outspoken senator. They might still reason, probably they can convince him. The reason is saying yes. The reason is that the INEC have enough staff, manpower, which is true.
But you don't want to give INEC that benefit of it.
That's what I'm saying that now. My senators should now consider that. Let the INEC be the one to tell them that we don't have the capacity to conduct that same day. Not politician. Because my politician telling us, it might not even be my comrade. It might not be comrade. It might be another politician. Because everybody is trying to say, okay, if this election is being conducted the same day, I don't like this governor. This governor might likely win. Because our people, voter education at least is better in the south than north. Say, yes, it's going to affect some people. But that bad wagon effect always go on that day. People just vote randomly. But let's remove that as a selfish interest. What are the interests at the end of the day that is going to benefit the entire country? Yes, we are going to have, because I'm sure this election coming now, this 2027, you can even see they can even tell you 500 billion. Because as at that time, dollar to Nigeria, 1999 was how much?
Well, the federal government claims it's stabilizing, so...
No, what I mean, no, if you look at it too, I tell people today, the challenge is not because we are not manufacturing country. We are not production country. We are just consuming country. So that one, we are not in that, federal government is not in that level to say they want to
guarantee that prices.
Until we are producing or we are exporting things that commensurate with what. So that one is not our own problem. And if you look at it truly, in UK, the bread is sold $10 last year. Are they selling the same bread, $10? The answer is no. In US today, the bread is sold $1. Is it the same $1 last year? And I'm just talking about last year. So that problem is a global problem. Our currency problem, we are the one that know the problem we put ourselves, because then we should be encouraging ourselves. But so that one, that is not our point of discussion now. Our point of discussion is that there is no way it's going to cut the cost of running election in the year. That one, no doubt. Because at the end of the day, if all election is conducted the same day, and probably, but as my senator said, he said, did they have the staff? Are you getting me now? Did they have the police, the security, and the rest? Because when you are saying the same day now, you mean that You know, like we have a stagger governorship election in Nigeria, about 7 or 8 of them are not going to be the same day. So they can remove those police and probably take them to another. So, but that is not, to me, an excuse. An excuse in the sense that let's employ more police. Let's because those guys are, let's train them more. Those that you have employed, give them better training to see that this country is our country where most of us are not going anywhere. We are going to repair it. The country must work. That should be our own edict. Our own agenda is that, like me, I tell people that I'm not going anywhere now. The country must work, must be part of the people that will repair this country.
All right, now still on the elections at the lower chambers, of course, another bill still based on electoral reform, this time to reduce the lengthy period of determination of pre-election petition matters and provide for the establishment of pre-election tribunals for pre-election matters and regulate the process of suspending a member of the National Assembly from legislative duties. Now, the House of Representatives has passed this bill has also passed a bill seeking to stop anyone above 60 years from vying for election to the offices of the president and governor in Nigeria. And if this bill scales legislative scrutiny and is signed into law, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Vice President Atiku Abubakar, and Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 election will miss out on the 2027 presidential contest, as they are all above 60 years. So let's go to the issue of the pre-election matter case. What good will this bill do? And is it just pre-election? What about post-election matters?
No, what they are trying to say is that if you will be able to eliminate that pre-election, then post-election, you can't have any problem. Because major problem they bring the post-election is that same pre-election. If you know you are not qualified to contest the election, they have said to you before then, so which court are you going on? What basis? You will not even go to court. The major thing is the pre-election. So that all those cases that are coming to the post-election, I don't need to come there. Because by the time you know that I'm not qualified to contest election, or I've been disqualified, automatically which court am I going for post-election?
What about the case of where someone is challenging probably INEC's conduct of the elections?
No, that's what I'm saying, that cases that will not be at the post-election will not be specific. Like what you said, challenging that. So, because most cases that come there is not even the challenges. Is that I was qualified, I was removed, I was denied, I was doing, when that is being eliminated before the election, those that will not come to election, they will not be focused, okay, which is clear. I think the originator of the bill to specify that it will reduce even the cost. And again, the tribunal, I don't know what you are doing for now. That tribunal was supposed to have been constituted before now. Rather, the tribunal that is not even supposed to consider is one there that just went to the office, not doing anything, just sit down. And again, to our judges, the judiciary too. That lengthy time to deliver judgment of some, sorry, there are judgments that you don't even need to take more than 1 or 2 days if you are actually working. A judgment that come before you like this, you see it and probably all evidence, and you give not, because that has been a problem. There are some people today that they practically fight or fought people based on the court. They know that the court will not sit. So if the court will sit within short time and probably give his verdict, people will know that if I approach the court within so dates on these issues, I will get mine. You will see it will reduce crime.
So on the issue of age, should that be a factor?
When you say age, I'm sure I want to believe today in a realistic manner. Many Nigerians have even reduced their age. And those Baba we are seeing, is that their real age? They have more than those.
But at least the ones we mentioned now, they are above 60.
I'm just giving an example. You are giving rules for a 40 years old to go and become 20. Those that are not to that age now, are you getting me now? You are giving them no room now. Because before you know, anything is possible in Nigeria.
But that's left for political parties to go do their investigations.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
there are people that in Nigeria today that look younger than their age. I'm above 40 very well. If you look me, I still look like 20 something. So if you probably bring that kind of opportunity, I might go back to become a 20 years old.
So you're already looking at how they can scam
I'm just telling you
the
that's
provisions
Nigerian
of the
for you.
bill.
Majority of them that they are claiming that age they are claiming today, they are above that age. I'm talking, okay, let me give an example now. We have graduates that graduated 10 years ago, and the bank is telling you to bring 28 years. Even some have skill. They are just tired of scaling. So today, I want to believe that an average Nigerians today are not even their real age. An average. Because a student that graduated 5 years ago, no job, and he saw an opening somewhere and said, you have to be 30 years, and the person is 37 or 38 years, he will see how he can reduce. Now, he won't even mind to go and write a new WAEC. If WAEC is easy. So Nigerians are, in terms of that one, the age, except probably you said maybe in the next some years to come. But for now, that is not even the problem. The problem is even the political party. Let there be a constitution law, let there be a law that ban the political party giving, not when you say...
It shouldn't be the jurisdiction of the National Assembly.
It's not the National Assembly issue. You will be surprised, some youth leaders are over 50 years. Youth leader where? I could remember there is a youth leader of a political
Forever
party.
young.
There was a youth leader of a political party that is over 60 years. A youth they call, because they were just in the Nigerian politics now. Maybe probably when they sit down and probably appointing themselves as a ESCO, they'll just look at which one is the last one. We have not appointed a youth leader. Baba, please, be our youth leader. We know you like youth. Before you know, the Baba will just call youth leader. Let the political party be the one to stop. Let there be a political party reorientation, whereby
they will have clarity on the age.
Present, even it's going to be shameful to present an overage people.
All right, we've been focusing on some of the constitutional amendments ongoing at the National Assembly. Of course, like we said at the beginning of the show, there are a lot of stages. This is just second reading, which is like the fifth stage from the slides that I showed to you. But there's something I would love Ambassador Austin to talk on, which is Mahama's visit to Nigeria. And, he's been on like a tour on some of these Sahelian countries. But we'll take a quick break. When we come back, I will get his thoughts on that before we call it a wrap on the show. To stay with us.
What makes the political system what it is today? What are the recurring issues?
Order.
The tussle for power.
An extremely problematic area.
The tension. The instability of the system. Join Ellen 24/7 as we take you inside the local and international political arena in the world of politics.
Apologize for saying that I was corrupt.
I'm not here to call out his lies. Everybody knows he's a liar.
Watch politics now on Ellen 24/7.
Don't miss Politics Now on Ellen 24/7.
All right, we're almost out of time, but just 1 minute for you to react to President Mahama's meeting with Tinubu. I mean, you would think since coup and military has taken over leadership in some of these countries like Niger, Burkina Faso, I mean, there will be slight improvement in terms of security. But what's your take on Ghana's president's tour of this country? Because there were reports that he's probably looking for, I mean, one of them attended his inauguration. So how is the bilateral relationships going? And also the effort to tackle security,
you get it
insecurity, yeah.
We have it on record by the president, Ghanaian president, that Nigeria is second home, especially of Kwara State. Because the stepmother is from that place. So he came, he schooled there, in Kwara State. So if you look at what I was telling the president, he not that maybe he came back home. And he believed, because he spent most of his life here in Lagos and majority of his friends, or let me say most of his friends, are Nigerians here. So after becoming the president or swearing in, he came here, and many of his friends who are politicians in Nigeria probably just to come and say thank you, and probably I'm sure some of them will come and see him and congratulate him physically, not even though that don't go to Ghana to see him. And in terms of regional relationship, I think we and Ghana always have that close distant relationship because most Nigerians are in Ghana and most Ghanaians too are here. So I think I want to believe that we are very close.
Well, how does that resolve some of the security tensions? Because that was his visit to
but Ghana,
some of these
I don't
nations.
think Ghana border any of those countries that are in problem. And even if they border them.
No, he's reporting to Tinubu.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He just came in. So probably maybe we look at that maybe as time goes on. But for us, I think we are trying to be able to protect our own territory through Niger Republic and try to see how we'll be able to. And for me and you, want to believe that the security have improved in Nigeria in a couple of months now, at least.
But how about those other surrounding nations?
That's what I'm saying, that we are talking about Nigeria now. The surrounding nation, yes, probably they are still, but I'm talking about Nigeria now, which is our own priority. Your house can't be on fire and you are going to quench another person's house that is on fire.
But you are aware Tinubu is the chairman of ECOWAS.
Yes, he's a
so
super
it's part of his jurisdiction.
He's a super chairman, not just a chairman. Because they saw him like somebody that he have a better experience to manage and as Baba of them. So I think he's doing well in that regards.
All right, Ambassador Austin, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, and that's the much we can take on Politics Now today. Many thanks for watching and see you same time right here on LN 24/7. Once again, my name is Mono Balagbogo. Thank you for watching.